So this is a slightly different video from, it's a bit normal, it's a bit different than what I normally do. But this is a 1954 generator welder, or a welder generator made by Miller. It's known an engine. And the problem that it was having is only one of the cylinders was working. So what was happening is we're still getting spark to both spark plugs. Check that. But the engine would bog down and would die as soon as you try to start any welding. It runs fine without, or so it seems, without welding. Then as soon as you start demanding amperage and force from the machine, it dies down. And what was happening is we disconnect one of the cylinders and it would keep running, and then we'd reconnect that cylinder, the spark plug, and if we remove the other spark plug, the engine would die. So that right away would tell me that only one of the cylinders, that cylinder that died, wasn't working, right? So a lot of smoke was coming through, and with these engines, as soon as you get a problem like that, it has to be an internal issue. So it takes 5 minutes to disconnect the bolts and take out the cylinder head, and right away you can see oil there. So right away that tells me that it's definitely leaking oil past this cylinder, but not as bad. This is a cylinder that was working. But just to make sure, I'm gonna wipe out that oil, and if any oil, if I come back here in I don't know, an hour or so, and we've got more oil, that means it's leaking past the rings. Now on the other side, the side that wasn't working, as soon as I opened the cylinder head, a bunch of oil came out. So that definitely tells me that this side is the side that's worst, and it's leaking. It's probably leaking. I haven't taken this off yet, but what I think is happening is it's leaking so much oil, and it's losing so much compression that it's blowing out the spark from the spark plug, or it's not even being able to gain any compression at all, and the gasoline is just leaking past the rings into the crankcase and diluting the oil. Try and do this with one hand here. I don't want the washers to fall off everywhere. That's that cylinder head off. As you can see, same thing. Fortunately, the bores are fine. That's really good news. The valves are pretty gunked up, but same thing with this side. I'm just going to clean out the oil here, and theoretically, in a perfectly fine engine, we shouldn't have any oil here. Now the oil is way down here, so it probably won't fill up, but if I were to overfill this engine with oil, then it'll probably leak past there anyways. The timing could also be off, but I'm not sure this engine, not sure how the timing works on this engine. Said I've never really dealt with one of these engines before. It's just an engine though. You work with one engine, you can work with any engine, as long as you know what you're doing. But I'll set the phone down, and what I'm probably going to do here is, I don't know, I think these cylinder heads, I don't think they come off. I think this part is integral with the crankcase. On airplane engines, you can remove the middle part, you can remove the cylinder wall, the cylinder itself. Not in this engine, I don't think. I imagine the valves seals and push rods are in there and in there, so I'll probably have to get these few bolts out of the way. 4 bolts hold the muffler, and as well as the exhaust manifold itself. That should come right off. Then we gain access to that. Just 4 bolts. That's the beauty. So there you have it. I'll get back to you with the next video.